Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade, and today we're going to be talking about a tuning that Blizzard is doing on October the 1st for Mythic Plus dungeons. So currently the servers are offline, so it's a good moment to go over all of these. And yeah, Blizzard has been pretty good at nerfing a lot of the things of these dungeons that we had this first season, because a lot of them are like very challenging, especially if you're with a pugs. It's like extremely punishing because sometimes pugs don't have that required coordination to do these mechanics, and it's kind of hard, you know. While if you're in a group, you're probably cruising because you can communicate with your group what you're doing and all those things, but in a pug it's horrible. Anyways, let's start with the changes. Okay, so the first changes we have are for Green Battle. So these are nerfs to Draga Shadow Burner. So there's improved visibility on Twilight Wind. That's a little tornado that spins around. So sometimes it can be hard to see, especially because of the big model of the dragon. So this now is a lot visible. Movement speed of the Twilight Wind reduced by 15%. This is good because that means you have longer time to dodge if there's too many of them, which there was, because this fight dragged very long. After that, movement speed reduction of the players inside the trigger area reduced by 10%. So this little wind thingy, by the way, used to slow you by 20%. So once you got hit, sometimes you had a hard time moving away from it. So now that's only 10%. And fixed an issue that allowed players to be hit by multiple times because of the Twilight Wind. So there was a bug where if you got hit, you sometimes just died outright because the thing was hitting you more than one time at one time, you know. And yeah, this was pretty obnoxious. I personally like saw those little winds, and if I touched them, I thought it was dead, because if this bug procs, sometimes you died, sometimes you just got hit and took damage, you know. Anyways, let's move to the next nerf. Mutated Hatchling. Melee damage reduced by 66%, and melee attacks can no longer critically strike. So this is, we're still beta testing the Mythic Plus stuff, you know. If you have to nerf something by 66%, it was broken as hell. So yeah, those Mutated Hatchlings, those little guys before the last boss, those like hurt tanks a lot, and I normally just sacked the tank as a paladin to try to make them survive at least the first one before they have anything rolling, because those little ads just destroy them. So I'm really happy to see these nerfs, you know. Just white damage was killing the tanks. Next up we have Baliona. So this is the second part of Drakda's Shadowburner. Health reduced by 13%. This is great because that fight was extremely long, and the longer the fight went, the more ads appeared, the more tornadoes there was as well, and it was very hectic and very annoying to deal with. So this health nerf is really good. After that we got Erudax. Abyssal Corruption now targets 2 players instead of 3. The Abyssal Corruption is those 3 circles that appear once you're in the little one, like in the little area that the room becomes. And now there's only going to be 2, which is great, because those 3 circles, you have to like coordinate and make a Venn diagram between all the players. Sometimes people were on top of each other and just got nuked by the 3 marks. Now it's going to be a lot more manageable. Just everyone spread up a bit, and you should be able to survive, you know. Even if you overlap a bit, it should be easier to just move away from 2 marks than it is from 3. After that we got Twilight Lava Bender. Those are the big mobs that do the super frontal and just transform into an elemental. Scorching Heat damage reduced by 25%, so that's the explosions after they reach 50%. They transform into an elemental, and those are the explosions that are going to get nerfed, which is really good. It's also very obnoxious if people die from this thing and they're trying to get back into the fight. The Scorching Heat just hits them from anywhere, you know, and I think they should make that not happen, you know. The Scorching Heat should have a range. Make it like, I don't know, 30-yard range or something like that, because it hits people from like half map, which is very obnoxious. Anyway, it's going to be a lot more manageable, especially that double pack of lava vendors before the dragon boss. Okay, now let's talk about the changes in Siege of Borealis. So the first one is Screamshot Gutter no longer flees at low health. So this is one of the humanoid mobs that tries to run away here in Siege of Borealis. There's one more that is, I think, a little Murloc frog that tries to run away also at low health. It was very obnoxious because when they ran away, if you didn't have a stun or something, they could just pull other packs, and that was horrible, especially before the first boss, because there's like the boss is like really close there, and sometimes these guys could go and pull the boss as well. Next up we have Chopper Red Hook. So players now gain a short immunity to Iron Tide's Cleaver's heavy slash after suffering from the hook. So this is to prevent unfair combos to happen. This was whenever the boss pulled everyone together, and then one of the mobs like just did a frontal on top of that, and everyone just insta died. So that was super unfair, and now you're going to be immune to that happening, which was one of the heavy factors of this key being so disliked. It was very RNG that could happen in that first boss. It did not only happen on the first boss, the next change is going to reflect that. So Iron-Tide Raider and Ashbane Commander adjusted the timings of Iron Hook and Azerite Charge. This was another unfair combo that could happen. Sometimes you got pulled by the Iron Hook and the charge immediately hit the whole group and just everyone took massive amounts of damage. If not, all right, just died if you were doing a higher key. So yeah, Siege of Borellas had too many unfair combos that were happening. These changes should make the key a lot easier, because the key is very easy to do. It's just these RNG bad moments that could happen that were making it very obnoxious. The only hard part now of Siege of Borellas is that last boss, especially those circles. Whenever the squid thing throws at you, they do just too much damage, and it's very hard to have a DR for every single one of them. Also, they hit whenever they hit the player, they do damage, you know. It's not only the dot that's sticking it, they hit and do a massive amount of damage. I think they should just make it so whenever the dot hits the person, it doesn't do damage, but it ticks, you know. You start taking damage whenever it ticks, but not whenever you get it. So I think that would be another good nerf for Siege of Borellas and that last boss. Now let's move to other changes in the Stone Vault. Okay, here we have some trash changes. The first one is to Rock Smasher. So this is the ability of the big elementals before the last boss. Now cast Smash Rock less frequently. This might sound very simple, but it actually has incredible impact, because this ability, whenever the mob casted, stacks by 10%. So if it does it enough times, your group is going to die. The problem is this mob is also surrounded by little ads that are very annoying to deal with. There's a lot of casters that just don't stop casting even if you stop them. You have to like kick them. Those mobs also have some heal effects on top. So yeah, you're normally incentivized to murder the casters, but you have to kill the Rock Smasher fast, because he's going to stack this Smash Rock on your group. So it's a like lose-lose situation. With this, it's going to be a lot easier to just focus down the caster so they stop being annoying, and then you can just focus down the Rock Smasher a lot better, you know, at least in poke situations. Ideally, you kill the Rock Smasher first instead of the little ads, but sometimes that is hard to happen. Next up, we have Tuned Speaker. Now cast Censoring Gear less frequently. This is another one of those like simple abilities that on paper are not very dangerous, but when they happen, they just nuke your group down, because Censor Gear is a 2-second silence that these mobs do, and they do it really often. So sometimes this is going to happen in situations where there's a lot of group damage, and if this happens on your healer, well, you're basically going to die, because you're pulling these tuned speakers around a lot other mobs that are very dangerous, like the big golem guys. You're pulling them around a lot of other like casters that also do like bolts and stuff. So yeah, these tuned speakers casting a silence on your healer or your casters was very annoying. And well, those are all the changes. I still think there should be more nerfs to certain dungeons here. For example, I think Necrotic Wake should get more nerfs, especially on the trash count. We're literally pulling every single pack in the dungeon, just pressing W here to make count, which is, I think, too much. And other nerfs that I think should happen are to the Stitcher boss in Necrotic Wake as well. Having to use every single weapon on that guy plus Bloodlust, I don't think is a good thing, you know. I think they should nerf the damage of the Abominations when they do the AoE damage around them, because they leave a dot on everyone. That should, I think, be gutted by 50% if they want us to do the fight normally, you know, just not throwing every single weapon at that boss. But yeah, I hope they do something about that dungeon. It is a very easy dungeon up to just that part, you know, that's the roadblock on that place, but I think that should be smoothed out a bit. Anyways guys, those are all the changes that are going to happen this week for Mythic Plus. I'm going to start streaming again this week, so hopefully I can see you there. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.